And today, we are proud to announce a comprehensive agreement to do just that. After years of debates and dreams, we finally have a viable plan to move Tweed Airport forward and do so in a way that maintains both the character of this airport and our existing footprint. With the help of our long-term partner, Avports, we are going to build a new runway at this airport and a new terminal on the Easthaven side. With the help of a new airline that you're going to hear about in a moment, we will begin to deliver on the promise of extended air service here in New Haven, something that people have been dying for a long, long time. Clap, please, for that. Together, these two partnerships will mean 1,000 construction jobs, which is why you see our brothers and sisters in organized labor here. And 175 new permanent jobs here at the airport. Both of these things and these projects will prioritize local workers here in Easthaven and New Haven so that the project is being done with the help of people who live here in this community, which is a very big deal. Last but certainly not least, with the help of Mayor Elker and Mayor Carfura, we have come up with a comprehensive community benefits package to make sure that we help the residents of this area and that our prosperity is shared, that we work together as partners, as good neighbors, and move forward together as one community behind this important project. This part is really important to me personally because when I started this job, I made it very clear to this neighborhood that I wanted to listen to them. I wanted to learn from them. And COVID kind of complicated that a little bit. I couldn't do as many in-person meetings as I wanted to. But I heard from the residents of Easthaven, and I heard from the residents of New Haven, and I heard from both the mayors and various local elected officials. And I think the product that we are announcing today is a culmination of that listening, to be responsive to the needs of these communities and to make sure that those voices were heard. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in a bit. In closing, I would just say that this day is a day that a lot of people said would never happen. But it's a great day. It's a great day for New Haven, Easthaven, this region, and Connecticut. And I could not be prouder of the team that we have here in place, all of our staff, many of who are here today, who have worked really hard during a very, very difficult year. COVID has been tough on everybody in our world, but it's been really tough for our industry. And our team has hung together, and I couldn't be more proud to lead the team here. But also, I couldn't be prouder of my board, who gave me the support that I need to work with these guys on a 6-month negotiation that was not easy all the time, but we got it done, and we're here today to celebrate that. And I couldn't be happier to turn the microphone over now to someone who is my partner, the CEO of Avports, Jorge Roberts. Jorge.
Good morning, Governor Lamont, Senator Blumenthal, Senator Murphy, Mayor Elker, Mayor Carfura, and distinguished dignitaries and guests. I would like to commend how diligently airport officials, led by Sean Scanlon, have listened to the concerns of local elected officials and community leaders and addressed them in order to get their support and help us reach this historic day. As a long-term partner for the past 22 years, Avports has proudly operated HBN on behalf of the Tweed New Haven Airport Authority. We have been a partner to the authority through the ups and downs of this airport. We believe strongly in its future and the positive economic impact it can have to the surrounding communities and their residents. We are committed to making this airport both financially and environmentally sustainable. We will invest more than $100 million over the next 40 years so this airport can be a beacon. The investment of $100 million over the next 40 years so this airport can become a beacon of economic growth and pride for the cities of New Haven and the city of Easthaven. As part of these investments, we aim to build a carbon-neutral terminal, develop the airport in an environmentally responsible and sustainable way. and invest in the community through noise mitigation and traffic improvement measures. We want to operate an airport that serves the need of the community and, equally importantly, responds to the concerns of the surrounding community. We are also committed to investing in the community, ensuring a diverse and inclusive local workforce and service providers. I understand the positive impact of ensuring diverse workforces because I am a product of such a diversity and inclusion programs, and I would not be standing here today without them. Airports is ready to continue serving as a good neighbor in this new chapter for HVN. As we begin this journey, we look forward to working with everyone here to the benefit of the airport and the communities it serves. Thank you very much.
Next up, I'd like to introduce one of our important guests today. He's the CEO of Avelo Airlines. His name is Andrew Levy, and I have to say, he's somebody who decided to launch an airline in the middle of COVID, which takes a lot of moxie, and he has it. He's got a great track record in this industry, and we couldn't be prouder to have him here launching a very, very significant project here in New Haven. So, Mr. Levy?
Thank you all. It's great to be here today. Look, I want to thank Sean in particular, who's been instrumental in making this come together, Jorge and the whole Airports team, and obviously it's amazing to have all the support from the leadership of the state and these local communities. We are really excited to become a valued member of this community. Avello Airlines is the nation's newest low-fare airline. We just started flying 8 days ago. Our first base is out in California in Burbank. And our purpose is to inspire travel. And the way that we do that is by offering everyday low fares and making it easy for customers to choose us. Part of the convenience element is being able to take advantage of wonderful smaller airports like this airport right here. And it's a winning combination. We're off to a great start. This will be our second base. Can't wait to get started. It'll be sometime in the later part of the third quarter. Be back in a few weeks to announce the first routes that we'll be flying to. But pleased to be here. Can't wait to get going. We think this is going to be the beginning of a wonderful partnership, and we're incredibly bullish on the opportunity here at Tweed. So Sean, thank you very much again, and really appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to hear from Mayor Elker, the mayor of the city of New Haven, somebody who I have been really proud to work with on this project, and somebody who from day one told me that the interests that he would have were how we can make sure that there is a robust community benefits package here. And I believe that we have done that. And Mayor Elker, I just thank you for your partnership in this program. Got to turn the other way. A lot of guys here. Thank you, Mayor.
Hey, how are you all doing? Good to see you, Rosa. You're late. It's great to be here. It's great to be here on this beautiful day. And I wanted to start off by just saying a particular thanks. Sean Scale and I have been on the phone 3-4 times a day for the past 2 weeks in negotiations. And I wanted to say that I appreciate you bending over backwards to make this work and respond to the many requests that the city had to ensure that the city and the neighborhood can benefit from this. I wanted to thank Mayor Carfura for standing shoulder to shoulder with the city of New Haven to make sure that this benefits all of our residents. And I wanted to thank our economic development team, in particular Mike Piscatelli, Carlos Ezeguirre, and John Ward, who have been working overtime to get this agreement across the finish line. For decades, the city of New Haven and the Airport Authority have been unable to come up with a plan that works for everyone. And that plan is finally here. That plan is finally here. The deal we're announcing today allows the airport to properly function and serve as a reliable asset to members of our community while being sensitive to neighborhood issues and community issues. And because of the hard work of people here and the voices from the community, we've finally landed on something that works. And I'm going to outline why I strongly believe that that's the case. I wanted to thank Avports for your willingness to work with us to address the many concerns that we've laid out to you. And I also want to welcome Avelo Airlines. This is a challenging time for the airline industry, and I'm deeply appreciative that you're taking a risk on New Haven. So thank you. But I want to underscore to the New Haven community why this is such a significant benefit to us. There's been a lot of talk about expansion, and that word expansion has been thrown out there a lot, expansion of the airport. And if you just look at commercial flights, that's true. That there will be more commercial flights that will give more New Haven, more Easthaven, more regional opportunities for people to actually afford to use this airport. I can say from my own personal experience, I've only flown out of Tweed once. And the ability for us to actually be able to afford flights here because there's more options, more opportunities, and to go to places that we would like to go, I think is something that we all can perhaps picture a little bit more hopping on a plane and going somewhere, particularly now that we've been cooped up for so long and really want to be able to do that. But what I have heard after countless listening sessions, knocking on doors around this neighborhood in particular for many years, is a list of concerns that we have worked tirelessly to address over these past several months. I've heard from residents about noise concerns, and this agreement will strongly help actually improve the current situation. So we talk about expansion, but in many ways this will decompress some of the noise. We've worked hard to ensure that there's changes in the timing of flights, that there's supplemental noise control measures. $1.75 million will go into soundproofing and other improvements to address noise issues that will improve that for everyone. And in addition, I think it's important to underscore that of the flights that are coming in and out of this airport, and we just saw one right now, the overwhelming majority of flights are general aviation flights. And we believe that the general aviation flight numbers are not likely to change significantly. The number of commercial flights that come into this airport is very, very small, and they're actually quieter. And so even though we will see an incremental increase in those, overall, the change in the number of flights coming into this airport is not going to significantly change. I've heard about traffic and concerns about traffic. This deal has $1.5 million going into traffic calming and traffic infrastructure. And it also ensures that the terminal is in a location that is less likely to impact residential neighborhoods. I've heard about environmental concerns. This deal has a stormwater management and coastal habitat restoration plan that protects the neighborhood from flooding and expands wetlands beyond what the small amount that will be taken away from the extension of the runway. It actually expands it beyond that and upgrades the tidal gates. There's a carbon neutral terminal that will be built, and I appreciate the commitment of the team here to make sure that happens. And there's a creation of environmental stewardship team to ensure that there's that accountability moving forward. And it eliminates the city's subsidy. And this is something I've heard consistently from residents around the city. The city faces a lot of financial challenges. Over the past 20 years, the city has put in over $22 million into this airport. So you imagine that's over $1 million a year that this city has been subsidizing the airport. That subsidy will end. That subsidy will end. And I'm a numbers guy, and just to get into the specific numbers, in this year's budget that we proposed and is in front of the Board of Alders, there will be $325,000 to the airport. In next year's, there will be $162,000, $162,500, and in fiscal year 24, $0. Fiscal year 25, $0. Fiscal year 26, $0. Sean heard that loud and clear when we were in these negotiations, and forward. And so that is a huge benefit to our city because we can spend that money on things that are deeply important to our neighborhood. And finally, to the community, we're adding jobs. And our team worked very hard to ensure that the group here has committed to working with New Haven Works to ensure that there's a pipeline for New Haven residents to access jobs, not just construction jobs, but jobs that are in the retail part of the airport, in the car rental. There's a strong diversity, equity, and inclusion component of this deal that ensures that this airport, as it improves, benefits every single person in our city. This has been an elusive deal for decades and decades, and finally we've come to a situation where we're allowed to and able to improve access to flights, but also ensure that we're addressing the many, many neighborhood issues that have been elusive. So thank you, and thank you to our team. Thank you to Sean for making this happen.
Next up, we have Mayor Joe Carfura from Easthaven. Mayor Elker mentioned that we've been spending a lot of time talking together. We've also been getting together a little bit, and Justin and I thought we were tall, but Mayor Carfura has us beat a little bit. And if this doesn't work out, maybe we can get into basketball, the three of us. But I just want to say, Mayor Carfura and Mayor Elker and I have talked a lot about partnership. And it's important to remember that the runway that we have literally splits the two cities in half. With this deal, these cities become closer in terms of partnerships and more equitable partnerships. And Mayor Carfura, I just want to thank you for being here today.
Good morning, and thank you to all the elected officials that are here. Sean Scanlon, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, Senators Dick Blumenthal and Chris Murphy, Jorge Roberts, where you at? Well, I got to be honest with you. You know, the first three speakers took all my steam away from me. So I'm going to put this in my pocket. Last night, you know, I was at home and I was reminiscing about, you know, how this project started. You know, I was a rookie mayor coming in to office 17 months ago, and I got a visit from Sean. And we sat down, and 17 months later, I feel kind of bad the way I treated him because I had all kinds of demands, and they were harsh demands. I came at them hard. Easthaven was always kind of on the short end of the stick over the past 40 or 50 years that this airport's been around. But this just goes to show you, you know, how people can sit down and work out all our differences. You know, I demanded a PLA. I demanded, you know, an enterprise zone right up until Route 80. I demanded some extra seats on the commission. I demanded a lot. And last night, you know, honestly, I thought that maybe Sean walked out of that office that day with his head spinning. But, you know, he sat down with me, and I had numerous conversations over the phone. This is a great project. It's going to move both municipalities forward. I am 100% on board right now. At first, I was kind of itchy, you know, to find out more about it. So I took a road trip with my, you know, my economic development guy, Ray Baldwin, and we went to MacArthur Airport in Islip, New York, and that was a project that Avports did. And on the, you know, on the Port Jefferson ferry coming back, you know, I was talking with Ray, and I said, I'm completely sold with this company. They are a top-notch company, and they do deserve a big round of applause. So moving forward, we still have a lot of work to do, but the groundwork is laid. I feel very comfortable and very happy for the residents of Easthaven. Once again, thank you, everyone. Sean, I hope you don't leave my office anymore with your head spinning. But thank you.
A few weeks ago, we had a very special guest here. The Vice President of the United States landed, and I was standing with our Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro waiting for her to arrive. And she was talking a little bit about her memories of this airport. Nobody is more New Haven than Rosa DeLauro, and I couldn't be more grateful to have her here today to celebrate this great day. Congresswoman.
Thank you so much, Sean. What a really, I got to put this down. You know, Mayor, you're very tall. But it is a glorious day. It really, really is. And even the weather is proving that today. But thank you so much, Sean, for the introduction. But as you work as director of Tweed Airport of the authority, and you have been such an advocate for the airport and working toward extending the runway and considering it to as a key to help unlocking the economic development of this area and of the region and of the state as well. So let me also recognize Governor Lamont, Senators Blumenthal and Murphy for being here and whose support has been so vital in making this day possible. Your efforts are making it possible for Tweed New Haven Airport to see a number of new improvements. Let me acknowledge Mayors Elker of New Haven, Carfura of Easthaven, two towns that have been engaged in lawsuits over 10 years. And it was like the Hatfields and the McCoys here that we had going. But they brought their cities together, and they are now working to make sure that the municipalities, that both will benefit from this regional asset. Really, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. You're really great, really great. Thank you all for joining today to acknowledge, really, and to promote the new terminal at Tweed. It would represent wins for Easthaven with respect to economic development, and for Morris Cove, which will realize reduced traffic, has been stated already. And as again, given the history of the airport and the town's interactions over it, it is a major, how can I say this without probably getting myself into trouble? This is a BFD, guys, it really is. So there you go, congratulations. So now I do have memories. I have memories. Look, I flew back and forth to Washington from this airport for several years. I first flew Pilgrim Airlines. Now, guys, I got to tell you, and women, they had canvas seats and you brought your coffee on. I went from there to New Air, which was here for a while and going back and forth. But since 9/11, we have not been able to really have a flight that goes back and forth to Washington without going through Philadelphia, etc. So it really, really is critically important for me. And I spent a lot of 5 a.m. mornings here and coming in on a Friday night as well. So, you know, Tweed is one of the top regional airports in the country, and a great economic asset to our community. I'm a longtime supporter. And again, this is a major agreement, and it is about time that the greatest small city in America had the greatest small airport in America. So the more than $100 million project today will result in the creation, and Mayor pointed this out, the creation of local jobs, eliminate the need eliminating that need for existing state and city subsidies, which currently total about $1.8 million per year, and this on top of over $30 million in investments from the federal government since 2008, including funding for noise mitigation with another almost $1.8 million on the way. So I am thrilled that the authority has also committed to project labor agreements with the building trades and with Walls Construction. And it's great to see the trades here today. Thank you. Thank you. And for more than 20 years, Avports, a well-known national operations and management company, has been a trusted local operator of Tweed New Haven Airport. And under the agreement, Avports aims to build a new carbon-neutral terminal that will be constructed at no cost to local taxpayers and lengthens the existing runway to allow for more direct flights to more destinations. It's a big win. It is a very, very big win for the airport going forward. It will benefit flyers, taxpayers, our local economy, our communities, our region, and our state. It provides easier access for all Americans to enjoy this part of our country, to enjoy the wonderful historic sites that are here, and yes, to enjoy the best pizza in the nation. So, thank you. Thank you. Oh, my glasses.
I spent 10 years of my life working for the next speaker, who is our junior United States Senator Chris Murphy, and really means a lot to have him here today for me, personally, given that connection to him, but also to have him and Senator Blumenthal here, along with Congressman DeLauro, speaks highly about where we are together today. To have our entire federal delegation here is quite significant, and I'd like to ask my friend Senator Murphy to say a few words.
Well, I am glad that Sean Scanlon has finally made something of himself. Congratulations. Listen, I don't think it's impossible. I think it's very difficult to overhype how big a deal this is, not just for New Haven, but for the whole state of Connecticut. Listen, New Haven is a global city, right? The New Haven region is a global region. The products that we are developing and manufacturing here in New Haven, the increasing footprint in technology and biotech, they have a worldwide focus. And there's not a company that you talk to in New Haven or the greater New Haven region that doesn't talk to you about Tweed Airport, doesn't talk to you about how they could grow jobs if they had the ability to bring their workers and their investors, their boards, in and out of Tweed. And so we talk about the jobs that are going to be created as we construct a new terminal and we build new facilities, but that is literally the tip of the iceberg, right? We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands of jobs that are going to be created throughout this entire region, because the message is going to go out throughout the country that New Haven now has the ability, right, to be able to get workers, to get investors, to get company employees in and out of the city efficiently and effectively. And by the way, it's not just about New Haven, right? Bridgeport and Fairfield County, it's 15 miles away. There's going to be greater opportunities for companies throughout Connecticut to be able to market the ability to get in and out of Tweed, New Haven as a means to be able to expand their business. And so I just think that this is such an important day because it scratches our state where it itches. Right? Years ago, there was a study that warned Connecticut was potentially going to become what they called an economic cul-de-sac, right? A state with all sorts of things going for it that was really hard to get to. And this is, I think, part of a broader strategy that the governor has put into place to make sure that we improve connections into our state, and a recognition that, in particular, this market is going to continue to grow in attractiveness to investors. So a great day for the city, but equally a great day for the state and those who market the state's ability to be part of a global economy. And finally, a word about Sean. Listen, I think there were some, who wondered whether, somebody as young as Sean, somebody who hadn't worked in this specific field, was going to be able to succeed in this job. And when I first got involved in statewide politics, this issue was one that a lot of politicians were told to stay away from because it was an example of how a local issue could become divisive. What you're seeing today is city and suburbs coming together, the public and private sector coming together, labor and management coming together to support a project which is going to create a lot of great jobs, is going to be able to help market our state. Tweed has now become an example of how our state and our community leaders can come together on tough issues in order to benefit our state. And I will tell you that would not have happened if it wasn't for Sean and his partners and his team and their tenacity to make sure that this day became a reality. A great day for New Haven, a great day for the state of Connecticut. I'm so glad to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Next up is our senior senator, Senator Blumenthal, who has been a champion on the issue of transportation for his whole career, has been a fighter for us in Washington, and we're really grateful to have him here today. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you. Sean, one of these days I'll tell you what Chris Murphy really thinks about you. And I know the only criticism of this event will be there just weren't enough speakers, right? I'm really honored to be here today. And every time I come here, like Rosa DeLauro, I'm reminded of my own experiences flying in and out of Tweed, going back literally 50 years. This airport has had real glory days. Presidents fly into this airport when they come to Connecticut. And today marks a return to those glory days. And it's not just about jobs. We're going to have really great jobs here. And by the way, they're going to be union jobs, right? Union jobs. And it is very much about this area and about our state. This airport is going to be an economic driver. We don't have gold mines or oil wells or Florida's sunshine. What we have is really smart people. We have a workforce second to none. And to attract more of those people, we need good transportation. We need not only better roads and bridges, but better airports. And to Joe Biden, if you want to see what infrastructure looks like, come to Tweed. This is where the federal government should be investing. This is where the federal government will be investing. As Rosa said, $30 million of federal money has already gone into this airport. And this airport is going to be a model for the nation. It will be one of our nation's great regional airports, and it will be a green airport. We are going to see an environmentally friendly airport here, second to none in the United States. Let me just say, finally, it wouldn't have happened without cooperation from the communities. And so I want to thank the mayors here for their leadership, the communities involved. This airport should go forward with continued outreach to those communities. They deserve a say in how the terminal is built, how airlines are scheduled, how noise is mitigated, and traffic is made possible. They deserve a continued say. By the way, Mayor Elker, Rosa DeLauro was not late getting here. Nothing begins until Rosa DeLauro comes in. And I hope that that kind of local leadership will continue, and nobody gets economic development like this governor. He understands what it takes to drive a state for economic benefit. He's done a great job in helping to conquer this pandemic, and he's done a great job of keeping the economy going and reviving the economy. Thank you, Governor. We've been through a time of enormous hardship and heartbreak, pain and loss, and we're seeing glimmers of hope. This day is a mark of going forward, recovery, reopening our nation, and I think we will look back on it as a real marker in a brighter future. Thanks to everyone who's here today.
As I mentioned in my remarks, could not have gotten to this point without the support of our board, who is representative of people appointed by New Haven and Easthaven and the COG. And I'd like to have our board chair, who has been my partner in all this, John Picard, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Sean.
Governor Lamont, Senators Blumenthal and Murphy, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, Mayor Elker, Mayor Carfura, and thank all of you for being here. Wayne Gretzky once said, "Don't go to where the puck is, go where it's going to be." So let's talk about not where Tweed is, but where Tweed is going to be. Tweed is going to be a game changer, not just for Tweed or New Haven County, but the state of Connecticut. Tweed's going to create thousands of temporary jobs and hundreds of permanent jobs. And it will create more of them in the future because it's going to allow this great state of Connecticut, under the leadership of Governor Lamont, to attract more businesses from outside the state. It's going to eliminate the relieving because New Haven County does not have a viable airport, and I think you all know what I mean. It's also going to eliminate the state subsidy. Governor Lamont, I'm sure you can find something else to do, very useful for the $1.5 million, and as Mayor Elker pointed out, the approximately $500,000 plus capital improvement money that's in the budget every year. So Tweed is going to be a game changer, and Tweed is going to help in so many ways in the future. And I want to give Mayor Elker and Mayor Carfura a great deal of credit because there's never any easy decisions in there in that seat, but they were adamant about continuing the community relations, working within our master plan, staying within our footprint. And I really appreciate that, and it's very important to them. As most of you have known, we've done over 180 sound insulation programs for the housing here, and they want us to continue that relationship, and under Sean's leadership, I'm sure they will. So thank you, both of your mayors, for looking out for your constituents, because there's never any easy decisions to be made. And I also want to thank COG. COG in the past has supported us a great deal, not only with appointing members, but votes of support, but also financially. So a few more thank yous. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Governor Lamont. It was just not that long ago, just before COVID, that we met in his office, a number of us, to meet with and go through, and he has an open door policy. And he also returns phone calls when you call him, so thank you, Governor. And Mayor Elker and Mayor Carfura for their leadership and their work done in this. I'd also like to thank all of you for being here. You know, a comment was made in the back, sometimes the press isn't there unless something's gone wrong. Well, this is obviously not the case, so thank all of you for being here and all the people behind me. A few more thank yous. Jorge Roberts from Avports, thank you for knowing where Tweed is going to be. We appreciate it. How about the public and private partnership, $100 million investments? Yes, that deserves a big round of applause. And with our federal, state, and local officials, not money that's coming from the federal, state, or local government. I think that's very important. Also the board. Tweed New Haven board, countless hours of volunteer time. A lot of them are behind me. The ad hoc committee, if you could just wave, I mean, I think it's very important to understand how much they volunteer and how good they are and what they've done. Now, Senator Murphy, you said something before, you know, not to compliment Sean too much. So, and Governor Lamont, you had the great line, they were talking just a few minutes before this press conference started, and they asked Sean, how long have you been in this job? And he said 18 months, and Governor Lamont says, well, what took you so long? With all due respect and seriousness, Sean Scanlon has done an absolute amazing job. Absolutely, yes, he deserves a round of applause. Under very difficult circumstances, during the pandemic and during a lot of other issues, we're very excited. He's absolutely the right person for the job and couldn't be prouder to have him here. So, phenomenal executive director. Thank you, Mr. Scanlon. Thank all of you for being here. Have a great day.
Union workers built this country, and union workers are going to build this airport. So next up, I want to call two gentlemen who have a big seat at this table on behalf of all the working men and women of this area, Annie Ionorio and Joe Toner. Please, guys, come up and say a few words.
Good afternoon, good morning, actually. Governor Lamont, Senators Blumenthal, Murphy, Representative DeLauro, Mayors Elker and Carfura. I was going to get beat up by my Italian friends if I didn't do Mayor Carfura's name correctly. But my name is Joe Toner, and I would like to thank the elected officials that I just named on behalf of the 30,000 unionized construction workers for what they do for us day in and day out. This isn't just today. They've been supportive of us in the building trades for numerous years, and they continue to advocate for our members for safer job sites, better working conditions, and fair pay. So on behalf of the building trades folks, we'd like to thank you for what you do day in and day out. One thing that was mentioned earlier is there's a project labor agreement here in this job. And I just want to bring up a few highlights. I know we have a lot of speakers. I just want to bring up a few highlights of what project labor agreements are. It's an agreement where it ensures that Connecticut workers are going to work on this project with a livable wage, with secure retirement and health benefits. That's what that means. It also ensures, as was mentioned earlier by the mayors and some of the representatives, that local folks are going to work on these projects. New Haven residents are going to work on this project that will be written into the project labor agreement. And Easthaven residents will be working on this project, and that'll be written into the agreement. That is what completes the economic circle in Connecticut, and we will continue to do it. We thank Sean for your dedication and support for the building trades and making sure that this job is going to be done responsible with Connecticut people, with Connecticut contractors, and qualified folks working at a livable wage. So thank you, congratulations, and we applaud you. Thank you, Sean.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrew Honorio. First, I'd like to thank Representative Scanlon for all the support. Governor Lamont, Representatives Murphy and Blumenthal, Mayors Carfura and Elker, Representative DeLaura. You've all been a great support to the building trades, and we appreciate that moving forward. Thank you very much. The New Haven building trades are excited to build a project in the local area that will bring in monies and people to help grow this local economy. Our affiliated local unions are excited to continue the long-standing great partnership we have with the City of New Haven, bringing in local residents to create careers, not jobs, while also building quality projects. Project labor agreements have standards that all contractors must abide by on the job that include local hiring, as Joe spoke about, and also apprenticeship. We bring in the disadvantaged, we are inclusive, and we are diverse, and we are proud of that. Having a project labor agreement also guarantees that all qualified local labor will be available throughout the course of the project. This will ensure available skilled workers and keep our tax dollars local. This collaboration provides the opportunity both for Easthaven residents and New Haven residents. We look forward to a strong partnership that not only strengthens our transportation system, but also creates good paying jobs for our members while promoting apprenticeship for residents in both the towns. Thank you for all your support, our elected officials. We look forward to building this project. Thank you very much.
I promise we're almost near the end. Somebody mentioned earlier that this is a partnership, I think it was Senator Murphy, between management and labor. And that couldn't be more important, to have the business community and the workers together on this project, both in favor of it. So I'd like to call up Garrett Sheehan, who's the president of the New Haven Chamber of Commerce, and Jen Morgan Delmonico, who is a past chair of CBIA and the New Haven Chamber, to talk a little bit about that.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of the business community, we could not be more ecstatic about what is happening today. And I know there's been a lot of thank yous, but these are so well deserved. For Sean, you came into the job. The first thing you said to me is, how many business leaders can I meet with about this airport and find out the meaning of it? Jorge and Avports, the entire board, they came on board with the chamber in the middle of the pandemic last year and said, we are unwavering about our support for this airport. And all of our elected officials who are here, the governor, Senator Blumenthal, Senator Murphy, Representative DeLauro, the legislators, Mayor Carfura, Mayor Elker, political courage. That's what I have to say, political courage today. Because so many times we would look at this airport and we would say, boy, it's just so easy. This makes so much sense. And then other times go, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know how this is going to happen. So today we have political courage across the board to make this happen. And our business community has been advocating for this for a long time. And I want to welcome up Jen, who has been one of those advocates speaking out on behalf of this. New Haven is taking off. We have great things going on and many more to come. Jen?
Great, thank you. Thank you, Garrett. And this is such an exciting day for Connecticut. As you've heard, this project will have short-term, direct, and significant economic impact on our region with the jobs that you've heard about today. But even more importantly, this project is a critically important and significant steps towards reliable, convenient, and affordable air travel in southern Connecticut. Convenient and affordable air travel is essential to our region's ability to compete in a robust global economy. Convenient and affordable air travel is essential for business to expand and grow in Connecticut, to create more jobs and higher paying jobs that in turn create more opportunities for our citizens. It's essential to attract new business, new residents, and new visitors to Connecticut, to increase economic activity overall and to improve the life of all of our citizens. So congratulations to all who worked so hard to make this happen. Thank you to our political leaders for supporting it. And, thanks again. I know it was a tough negotiation, as we've heard about today. It's taken years, but thank you to all for taking the time and care to find a way to move forward here in a way that makes sense for all of the stakeholders, while also expanding the opportunities for our region and all those who live here. Thank you so much.
Later this summer, we will celebrate our 90th anniversary as an airport, which is pretty significant. Yeah, we can clap to that. That's pretty cool. And on the day of the ground opening for that airport, a guy parachuted from the sky and handed the governor at the time a golden shovel to commemorate this airport being opened. So, Governor, I don't have a golden shovel for you, but I have a good deal, and I'm really proud you're here today. So thank you so much for being here.
All right. Would anybody else like to give a speech, by the way? Because come on up, the water's fine. And look, we've been working on this for at least 18 years. As you heard, Sean's been at it for 18 months. I'm doing the math. You work pretty fast. But Avello's been in operation for 8 days? Is that what I heard? Now that's what I talk about moving fast. But this is what I heard, over the last half an hour. It took a while, but we do it right. Russia, China, they just would have brought in the bulldozers and raised everything. We listened to the community. We listened to the mayors. We're making accommodations to make sure we do this right. We listen to the environment and pay attention to that and make sure it's sustainable, everything from the terminal to the extension, and make sure that we do that right. We make sure that this is built by Connecticut folks with quality labor, guaranteed by a project labor agreement, with good benefits. Thank you for what you're doing. We look out for each other. That's what Connecticut is all about. So, thought it took a little bit longer, but we're doing it right. And let me just say broadly, I'll pick up where Chris Murphy left off. This is part of something a lot bigger. This is a really important regional airport in the most important region of the state. I just don't say that. I mean, New Haven is the crossroads for our region, crossroads going forward. And I got to say, thanks to Madam Chairperson, Rosa DeLauro, and our two amazing senators, what you were able to do. This is going to be part of an intersection. This is going to be part of high-speed rail that connects Boston, New London, New Haven, regional airports that help us go, and then all the way down to Stamford and New York, with connections to Hartford as well. This is how you open up a state. This is how you get a state moving again. Look, it has been one hell of a year. It's been one tough year. But Connecticut is coming out of it so much stronger because we work together, because we work together with our municipalities, we work together with our communities, we work together with labor, and we work together with the business community, and that's what this symbolizes today. It's a really important start for where this state is going. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sean.
I know it's been a long program, and I appreciate everybody for being here. And I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who has made today the special day that it really is. And it's one that I think a lot of us will remember for a long time, and one that I hope the community will remember for a very long time. So with that, we will take any questions from the press. If you just shout them out.
A question for Mr. Roberts from
Yeah, sure.
Airports, if I may. So why is your company interested in investing so much of your company's own money in this project, and how do you expect to make it back?
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. We've been in operation for 94 years. Airports is our only business. What we identified here was a need, a community that, in a catchment area that wanted to fly to more places, and we identified a need for infrastructure. We've been a partner to the authority for the last 22 years, and we want to continue being a partner to the authority as such. And through that, our experience of leveraging our experience operationally and through developing airports. And so we think that this is the right time, as Sean and the political leaders have said today, to get this done.
Is it through a portion of gate receipts, or how will your company be making that money back?
Well, the airports make money through many levers, meaning different sources of revenue, not just from landing planes, but also through retail, food and beverage, car rentals, car parking. There's just different leases from tenants. And so there's just a big stream of revenues that could be made. And we have put together a plan that we believe is financially sustainable and is going to end the state and city subsidies.
Mr. Roberts, how soon do you expect shovels to be in the ground and runway expansion, the terminal and such?
Sure. So the project has two phases. One is currently upgrading the current terminal that is behind us to serve Avelo Airlines, which will be starting later this year. Before we can expand the runway and build the new terminal, we have to go through an environmental assessment process that takes about a year, which will involve community input and working with making sure that things are done in an environmentally safe and sustainable way. They'll look at noise, water impact, and impact to the wider community.
Jody?
Can you talk about how many flights will be coming in and out, and what the destinations might be?
At the moment, I think, I don't know if Andrew wants to complement that, but what we is building for to accommodate the needs of the catchment area. We're still kind of undergoing the study, and I think Andrew may want to respond to that in terms of where they may want to fly or how many flights they expect.
Yeah, we're not going to announce specific routes today, but we will have 3 airplanes here by the end of the year, and we intend to keep those 3 airplanes busy. These are 149-seat 737-700s. We're going to be flying to big markets, popular destinations for the residents of the community and the surrounding areas. So we're going to take people where they want to go, and we're looking forward to coming out with more details in a couple months, most likely.
And can you talk about why you chose New Haven as your first East Coast hub?
Well, I think this is just a phenomenal opportunity. It's a great airport. It's in a location where there's a lot of people, and the air transportation options are pretty limited. You know, a lot of people drive a long way to get to the New York metro area airports, or they go up to Hartford, which is, you know, also not exactly a short drive. This is our kind of airport. This is our whole strategy is really about taking advantage or leveraging opportunities like this, where you have a secondary airport in a larger metro area that it has either very little service or less service than we think it can be supported. And with everyday low fares and the convenience of being able to navigate through an airport like this instead of where I flew in yesterday, not too far away south, it's just a completely different experience. And so we're, like I said before, we're looking to inspire travel. And this is a great time to start doing that in the tail end of this pandemic, get people moving around again, and the airport and the community is a big part of it, and offering something that's unique and different, we believe is a really big part of what's going to make us successful.
And Sean, with regard to Avello's commitment and the commitment to the infrastructure overall here, I would imagine your phone will be blowing up soon with other inquiries of other air carriers.
Yeah, listen, we're here today to talk about one important partnership, but there may be others down the road. And we've had a lot of interest in this airport over the years. They just continue to say to us, we just need more room on the runway. And so with that, as we begin that project that Jorge is talking about, that $100 million investment, we do think that will have more people invested here. But we're really proud of the announcement that was just made by Andrew because it's what people want in this market. He just mentioned it. People want to be able to fly with the convenience, and there's nothing more convenient anywhere in this area, anywhere in New England, than right here.
Question for Mr. Levy and other folks. A carbon neutral airport is one thing, but how about the flights? Infrastructure at large is moving towards, rail, things like that have a lower impact. What's your commitment to keeping the carbon impact of flights mitigated in some way?
Well, I think it starts with that we operate very efficient airplanes. We operate next generation Boeing aircraft, and when you look at the fuel burn on a per seat basis, it's extremely efficient compared to other forms of transportation. There is a lot going on in the industry as far as having more fuel sources that could hopefully one day replace kerosene and carbon-based fuels. That's going to take a lot of time for it to become large enough and inexpensive and widely available enough, I think, for the entire industry to move in that direction. But there's a lot going on in that space, and I think that we're all very aware of how important it is to make that commitment, and I think you'll see us get there sooner than later in our industry, probably, a lot sooner than most people think. But it'll take a few years. Thanks.
Other questions?
Mayor Elker, you never knocked on my door. Easthaven Mayor, your silence was deafening when they took down the MOA that was signed, that they could never pave the safety area, which cost us, our neighborhood over there, parking and 3,000 more cars a day coming by our houses. When they changed the route of Dodge Avenue, they signed the MOA that they could never pave the safety zone. The previous director, Tim Larson, at the final public hearing, I asked him outright if they could ever do it, and he said, quote, they can never pave the MOA.
So if I can just say, sir, we have talked, and I've been to your house before, and when things have come up that you brought to my attention, I hope you'd agree that we've taken care of them for your benefit, and I try to do that as much as I can, as I would speak for the mayor and all the mayors here, all the elected officials here, to be responsive, to listen to you. As I've told you before, I can't speak for promises that might have been made. I can just speak for the promises that I've made to you, and I hope that I've kept them to you and the rest of the neighbors here. And that's a continuing thing that I am committing to do to you and everyone else. So, as Jorge just said a few minutes ago,
Pretty much proves it today that you aren't open.
as Jorge just said,
To be here and nobody in the neighborhood to hear about it.
as Jorge just said a few minutes ago, what we're announcing today is that we've reached an agreement. The next step of this process is to hear from you. And that is something that I am committed to, that Jorge is committed to, that everybody up here is committed to. There will be many community meetings, there will be many forums. What we're announcing today is not a done deal that this is happening. We're announcing that we're moving forward on a plan that we hope that we can earn the support of the community for, and that's what we're committed to.
Well, obviously, you've been doing this for 30 years with the build it and they will come mentality. It was a Trojan horse to put the safety zones in, that we needed the safety zones. The ink wasn't even dry, and you're already planning on paving. Now you're already talking about, sir, I appreciate your investment in paving, dedicating $100 million, but they haven't even done the environmental impact study yet. They did one for this airport during the last upgrade. They put in detention areas that said it would never flood. I have pictures that I sent to the register. It's flooded 2 or 3
As I said, sir, the environmental assessment process is going to begin, and your voice really matters to us. It matters to me, and I hope you know, given our relationship, that I will always continue to listen to you and the rest of this neighborhood and do everything I can to make sure that we're good neighbors. And with that, thank you all very much.